Imagine waking up one morning, picking up the newspaper, and reading your own obituary. Not just any obituary, one that calls you the Merchant of Death. A man who made a fortune by finding new ways to kill people. That man was Alfred Nobel, and what he did next changed the world forever. Because the same man who invented dynamite, one of the most destructive forces in human history, became the reason we celebrate peace, science, and humanity every single year. This is history by accident. Alfred Nobel was born in Stockholm, Sweden, in 1833. His father, Emmanuel, was an engineer and inventor, always blowing things up, always trying to make things better. And young Alfred, he was completely obsessed. By the time he was a teenager, he was already experimenting with one of the most dangerous substances known to man, a liquid explosive called nitroglycerin. Now, nitroglycerin was powerful, almost unbelievably powerful. But it had one massive, terrifying problem. It was completely unpredictable. Drop it, shake it, breathe on it wrong, and boom. In 1864, that unpredictability killed Alfred's younger brother, Emil, and 4 other people in a massive explosion at the Nobel family factory. Most people would have stopped there, packed up, walked away, never touched an explosive again. Alfred Nobel went straight back to the laboratory. Nobel was desperate, absolutely desperate, to find a way to make nitroglycerin safe to handle. He tried mixing it with sawdust, charcoal, cement, brick dust. Nothing worked the way he needed it to. Then one day, possibly completely by accident, he noticed something strange. One of his canisters of nitroglycerin had leaked during transport, and the liquid had been absorbed by the packing material surrounding it, a chalky, silica-based soil called kieselguhr. He picked it up, examined it. The nitroglycerin was still there, still explosive, but now it was stable, solid, safe to carry without your hands shaking. Nobel shaped this mixture into sticks. He called it dynamite. From the Greek word dynamis, meaning power, he patented it in 1867, and within years it was being used everywhere. Mining mountains, drilling tunnels, building railroads across continents. Alfred Nobel became one of the wealthiest men on the face of the earth. He owned over 90 factories across more than 20 countries. But dynamite wasn't just being used to build things. It was being used in wars, in weapons, in mass destruction. Soldiers were dying by the thousands because of something he created. And Alfred Nobel watched it all happen. Now we come back to that newspaper. In 1888, Alfred Nobel's brother Ludwig died in France. A French newspaper made a critical mistake. They thought it was Alfred who had died, and they published an obituary about him. The headline read, "The Merchant of Death is dead." It described a man who had gotten rich by finding new ways to mutilate and kill. Alfred Nobel read his own obituary while he was still alive, and it absolutely devastated him. He sat with that newspaper and asked himself one question that he could not shake. Is this how the world will remember me? After everything he built, after every sacrifice, after his own brother died in his laboratory. Is this the story people will tell? The Merchant of Death? He couldn't accept it. He refused to accept it. So with the years he had left, he made a decision that nobody saw coming. In 1895, just 1 year before his death, Alfred Nobel sat down and rewrote his will. He left 94% of his entire fortune, everything he had built, every factory, every patent, to fund a set of annual prizes. Prizes to be awarded to those who had done the most good for humanity, in physics, in chemistry, in medicine, in literature, and in peace. The Nobel Prizes were born. His own family tried to contest the will. The Swedish government didn't know what to do with it. Some people called it the act of a madman. But Nobel had written his wishes clearly, and they could not be undone. The first Nobel Prizes were awarded in 1901, 5 years after his death. Since then, they have been given to over 900 individuals, organizations around the world. Marie Curie, Albert Einstein, Martin Luther King Jr., Malala Yousafzai, all of them carrying the name of the man who invented dynamite. The Merchant of Death became the father of humanity's greatest honor. Alfred Nobel spent his whole life creating something powerful enough to destroy mountains. But what kept him up at night was a single question. How will people remember me? A fake obituary, printed by mistake, forced him to answer that question while he still had time to change it. And today, every Nobel Prize ever awarded is proof that it is never too late to rewrite your story. If this story hit different for you, smash that like button. It genuinely helps this channel reach more people. And I want to hear from you in the comments. Do you think Alfred Nobel deserves to be forgiven for what dynamite became? Or is the Nobel Prize just guilt money? Drop your answer below. I read every single comment. Subscribe to History by Accident, because the best stories in history were never planned. See you in the next one.